pertain to in the treatment of patients. Unfortunately, the practice does not always reflect this, because simple things such as ensuring that you carry out a proper check of who you are treating is not universally applied across clinics. For this reason, it may become necessary for us to have standard operating guidelines that will apply to all clinics who carry out their practice. And this effort has previously started in the association. In the course of developing ethical guidelines, we have also embarked on the development of standard operating procedures and minimum standards for clinics who intend to carry out the practice. We hope that with the incorporation of the advanced postgraduate training for infertility assisted reproduction, we'll also be able to sell the idea of self-regulation, because in most parts of our sub-region, we wait for the government to regulate us, whereas at the end of the day, what we actually require is to ensure that we do what we need to do. In our initial efforts to try to set up guidelines, with the guidance of some of our senior colleagues and foreign collaborators, we always thought that the best step would be to try to buy into government in Nigeria, buy the government's input, so that we could set up standards and legislation that will guide the practice of ART. It has taken many years, and in addition to the challenges and difficulties that we encounter in trying to establish a training curriculum and the registry, it has been a very slow process towards trying to get the legislation in that direction. In Lagos State in particular, the state government was particularly interested and joined the association in setting up guidelines that are now going to be implemented. These guidelines spell out many of the ethical considerations that we need to think about when now, we must treat our patients fairly and at the same time not favor individuals or groups over others, and be non-discriminatory actions anyway. We exploit the poor economic situation of some of our patients. There have been many newspaper reports coming from Nigeria about clinics that exploit women. We have come across some clinics where the documentation of young ladies who come to donate suicide is not even properly carried out. Are we being unfair to children born by older women? There are recently some publications in newspapers and others of celebrations in Nigeria where we have births in women of advanced age. It may be a medical feat, but at the end of the day, we also need to sometimes think about the effect on the offspring. If the woman has her first child at 80, how long will she live to look after the child? And when she goes, who needs to look after that child? Many publication is quite instructive and tells you what the population generally thinks, and tells us that there is a need for us to address ethical issues and practice. They also submitted a document which we are currently working on the guiding principles and ethical guidelines in the clinical practice of ART in Nigeria. And these principles go from the proper way to set up clinics, the proper staffing of clinics, the proper way to handle samples, the proper way to deal with embryos, and every other thing that we use in the practice of ART. With this, I thank you for listening and bring you greetings from Dr. Ajayi
I was quite interested by that team and reason being that the faculty have actually played the role of the faculty in designing the curriculum and doing everything. But I want to appeal to the faculty that a lot needs to be done. Now, usually the process in establishing these programs entails that you must have standards and practices more defined. list of competencies, what subjective list. Competencies that are required. The faculty must define the curriculum and the rules of delivery. The faculty must define the rules of assessment, because the institutions also need to be assessed by the faculty from time to time. The faculty must define training milestones, and the faculty must define minimum requirements for institutions that are required to train. Now, it's important for us to have this clear so that one distance presence, two, become the guideline for institutions that want to train. They can exceed the minimum requirements, which is what we encourage. And then fourthly, keep ensuring periodically that they are keeping to the standards. What we have now is that whether teachers have done much of the work. The non-curriculum is very, very commendable. But I still think the faculty is still out to need to sit down and define this. There is approval, so it's a formal document of the correspondence. So that if legal issues arise as time goes on, it's not just someone's idea or one institution. And then so that you can monitor what is being done in that institution and make sure that even the staff with the highest standard of academic will sustain it.
So we have that. And my own personal opinion was that if I standards high, that was my opinion when I saw the part, but I was surprised when we went there. The effects of all the requirements. So fear was taken care of. It wasn't just the fact of going somewhere with no prepared criteria for selection. The same principles we use for accrediting ORG, or DAKAR. All of them, we are ready and we are used.
There's something quickly that Dr. Fierba, my very good friend, talked about. Painfully, I was not at the meeting where they discussed this issue of single embryo transfer, so double embryo transfer and all that. But there are some facts that we know clearly. One is that it has been established that the results following single embryo transfer are much less than double or triple transfer. Let's be clear about that. Two, where all these studies were done and where they adopt a policy of single embryo transfer, the patients don't pay from their pocket. They are reimbursed. The whole of all the Schengen countries, you can come 10 times for IVF. They don't care. They even pay you to come. Our patients are paying from their pockets. For some of them, it's a life and death situation. Some lose their lives. The marriages break down. So it will be very, very difficult for a country like Nigeria to adopt that policy of single embryo transfer. Some people were sponsored by communities and churches. I am not in favor of triplets and quadruplets and 5 and 6. No, I am not. But my argument is single embryo transfer. I did a study which is readily available. 94.6% of those I interviewed told me, with all the complications I told them about, told me clearly, look, I still want twins. Let me die in the process. I still want twins. Let us remember that in present day Nigeria, if you have one child, just one child, you still have one leg in, one leg out. It can be thrown out. So please, when we discuss this matter, let us also remember where we are coming from.
It should be better than single. But what bothers me is the higher order transfers. We know from experience and from reasoning, most of our clinics practice multiple 4 or 5 transfers. That is where the issue is. The Association of Fertility and Reproductive Health, are there any regulation on the number of transfers? Because what we practice is 4 or 5 transfers. whatever happens. Also, I want to talk on the ethical issues. We have had occasions where eggs are donated, but the husband is out of the picture. The husband is not aware that it was donor egg that was used for the assisted conception. Are there no ethical issues on this? Thank you.
The issue is that, personally, you have to do auto-regulation. Apart from practicing IVF, quite a number of people that practice are also obstetrician. Just sit down one day and manage quadruplets. You won't transfer for embryos again. I'm telling the frank truth. Starting from prematurity, placenta previa, preeclampsia, and then maybe the woman has a previous scar. You won't sleep until she delivers. You may end up with a hysterectomy at the end of the day. So ask yourself a question, does it really worth it? The people of single embryo transfers will say no, because those practicing in UK, there's a friend of us in UK that said those practicing it. They went and asked them what's their success rate. They said 7%. They didn't see patients again. Even with NHS, they said 7%, rabbi. They found out 6 months they didn't see any patient. So we have to strike a balance. The issue is that the big question we have to ask ourselves as scientists, why will you transfer 3 embryos and the patient comes down with singlet? What happened to the other 2? That's the question we have to ask. And until we're able to answer that question, some people have tried to answer it by doing aneuploidy screening before the embryo transfer, end up doing frozen embryo transfer at the end of the day. And with that, they are trying to match the number of embryo transferred with the number of sacs they have at the end of the day when they finish the transfer, those that get pregnant. And when you get that, I don't think there will be any rationale in transferring more than 2. Anybody that has twins, I think that's enough. So that's okay. Then the issue of, we are talking about people that do donors without consent of of one couple or the other. I think you as a clinician, is on your head and your body. As a policy in my place, if you come for donor, I give your partner the consent form to sign. If you are coming for donor egg, you agree, I'll give your husband the form to sign. Your husband signs, I'm sure the 2 couples have agreed. If you're coming for donor sperm, I'll give your wife to sign. Because if you give only one person to sign, the other person is not aware. Because you will sign the one you have agreed to do. So your partner has to be aware. You have to put your foot on ground. Because it will put you into trouble. At the end of the day, they come down with some rare genetic disorders. The other couple will trace it. And at the end of the day, the person that told you are helping me will say the truth. That you are the one that convinced. One came one day, said I'm the one that convinced them to do donor egg before the husband, when I asked him to sign the consent form. I said, if you are the one, then why did you sign? Because the husband refused to sign that time. So you have to be very, very careful. As a clinician, you put your foot on ground. Because when trouble arises, the patients will deny you. Thank you.
We have raised the level of discourse in this meeting, and therefore we have added value to what we are having in West African College. I want to ask the presenters that considering the low level of hospital governance, how do they think we'll be able to succeed in meeting the high quality requirements in standardization of data collection? I'm sure you know that hospital governance started from lower level, higher types of governance, where the pilots look at 2 things: safety and quality. That's what we're now trying to bring into place. And for us, is the level at which we are running the hospitals and the institutions involved in this training is such that if we have to do well and meet the standards that my friend, the second speaker, was talking about,